Hey guys, Rick here. Now, Disney Genie is coming out. It's going to hit Disney World on October 19th, 2021, and it's going to be a game changer. It's made a lot of people angry, it's made some people pretty excited. Let's try to tear all that down and break it down to what it really is and what it can do for you. So, Disney Genie, which was unveiled by Disney in the summer and announced, the October 19th date was announced on Friday, October 8th. The day before, on October 7th, I was invited to go to the Coronado Springs, where we had a media event where we actually had demo with a hands-on. So I've actually tried the Disney Genie app. I went to a presentation that I asked some Q&A. We got to find a lot of stuff on everything that it does beyond just the regular press release stuff. So I want to dive a little deeper in it for you. So let's talk about the basics, because Disney Genie is the kind of thing that really upsets some people, and other people are sort of excited about what this can represent. I think the more you know about Disney Genie, the more you're going to like it. But of course, you're not going to be happy that you're going to have to pay for some things that you used to not pay for before. But let's get into that eventually. Right now, let's talk Disney Genie. So this is the new platform that will be rolling into the My Disney Experience app. And it's a dramatic upgrade to the old My Disney Experience app. So in the old days, pre-pandemic, you would go into your app, and if you were a pass holder, if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you could start picking out reservations earlier than anybody else. Then came pass holders, and then came people that bought one-day tickets, and they could reserve up to 3 rides at a time to go through the Fast Pass lane. Disney Genie itself has nothing to do with Fast Pass or Lightning Lane. This is the Disney Genie product, the free product. It is a planning guide, and it is very slick. It's very proactive, so you can actually go in and it'll tell you who's in your party, and you actually pick who's in your party, and you can pick up to 8 different rides and attractions that you want to see. So let's say you're going to Magic Kingdom, you would say, I want to do the Haunted Mansion, I want to do Space Mountain, I want to do Peter Pan, and you put it in there. It's in the system. You don't have to do all 8. If you have dining plans already, let's say you have a reservation, maybe at Be Our Guest, or maybe you just want to casually have an order at Cosmic Rays or Casey's. You can put that in there, and it will optimize an itinerary for you. And by that, I mean it's not trying to cheat you out of money. It's basically going through its algorithms on which rides have the shortest wait on different parts of the days. But not every ride at Disney World operates the same way as far as guest peaks and valleys. People tend to go to the park, they tend to go right instead of left. So sometimes rides on the right tend to load up earlier in the day but are freer later on in the day. And obviously people flock to certain flagship rides. That affects a lot of the way the traffic goes to rides throughout the day. So this calculates all of that and then gives you a model itinerary. And it doesn't just spit out rides at random extremes of the park. It calculates where you are, where you're going to be. And you can also single out other things. Like let's say you are interested in meeting characters. It could suggest some character experiences that are available on the way. Shows, anything. There's even a section if you like a Star Wars or Toy Story. You pick out different franchises, and it'll suggest things that may appeal to some people that are fans of these franchises. So it's a very slick app. And once it goes through hundreds of thousands of combinations. It's like algorithm. They have years of consumer data, and that insight lets them pick out what they think you and the rest of your party will enjoy the most, and in an order that makes sense for you to optimize your time, to have you spend less time in the standby line. So the free product itself, Disney Genie, is a market improvement from what Disney used to offer before with My Disney Experience. And it gets better, because within the app, first of all, even now, just before October 19th, if you wanted to, let's say you're hungry, you'd have to go to make a dining reservation if you wanted a table service restaurant, and that would bring you to the app itself would open up the website, and you'd go through there to try to find something. If you were hungry for like a takeout, you'd have to mobile order. You'd go in there, click on a different thing. It'd take you to a different platform to place an order and get a wait window. The app now has it all right there in one spot. So it'll show you a place, and it'll show you the next available reservation. That if it's a dining reservation that you need, it tells you if there's one available later in the day for you. It'll tell you, you can just book it right there. Or you can also get waitlisted at a restaurant, check on your mobile order to see when it's ready. A lot of neat features all rolled right in there. And there are other cool things too, of course. They are adding audio tales. It's not audio tours, so it's not like you're going to be going around a museum with a 30-minute or an hour audio tour. But let's say you come up against maybe the steam engine, one of the trains, or maybe an iconic statue somewhere in Main Street. You just click on the button, and boom, it'll give you a short description. So a nice little touch. And also, again, for all people, something that you said, well, gee, I mean, I was doing this anyway. Now my Disney experience is making it easier. Disney Genie, rather, still calling it my Disney experience, even though it's technically in it, is they are now letting you take like selfies and video clips, and they're having filters. They're launching with like 20 different Disney filters that you can add to your photos and your clips, and then post it onto TikTok or Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts. There's so many platforms these days. Instagram, of course. You can do all that now within the actual app. You can be able to take these footage that way and actually have it enhanced Disney style, just like they do with the enhancements with the photos, with the Photo Pass. So Disney Genie is all that. It's an improved version of the actual application. Now, of course, we get to Disney Genie Plus, and Disney Genie Plus is what you have to pay $15 a day for. Now, it's $15 per person, regardless if you're a pass holder, if you're staying at a hotel, or if you're just there for one day. It's just $15 a day is what it is. You either pay it or you don't. And this will not run out. Disney, the rep told me yesterday that basically it's an unlimited number of Disney Plus. It's not like capped, like a certain number of reservations that they'll take for individual rides. As many people as they want to can ride Disney, can buy the Disney Genie Plus. And with Disney Genie Plus, you will have access to something that is very similar to Max Pass at Disneyland, where through your phone, once the day actually starts, you can't reserve ahead of time, but once the day the park is open and it's that day, you can go in and start making reservations, start plotting rides as you would with the old Fast Pass. You get different 1 hour windows, but it's not just limited to 3. It can actually, your whole day, it'll actually plot it out that way, and it'll give you available opening times for different attractions. So that's a pretty neat feature. And also, you can, let's say you're going to be at, let's say, at Animal Kingdom, 8 in the morning, and by 2 o'clock you want to take off, and let's say you want to go see Epcot because there's a festival happening, you want to take advantage of that. You can actually, while you're still at Animal Kingdom, while you're still planning that day, you can still go to Animal Kingdom, and without going to Animal Kingdom, you can populate the rides that are there and start making plans there for dining and other rides, square away stuff. It'll give you the plan. The free Disney Genie plan does it too, but Disney Genie Plus puts you in a perspective where you are paying $15 for access to what used to be the old Fast Pass lines, which is now Lightning Lane. Now, all of the rides that used to have Fast Pass, except 8 of them, are now in Lightning Lane. And this is, you pay, and they'll give you a 1 hour window, and you can go to it. And one cool thing about Disney Genie, the free version, as well as Disney Genie Plus, because it's built on top of it, is let's say a ride is down or weather changes, or let's say just a whole group of people come in and they converge on a ride, so that line all of a sudden just doubles in wait time. They will configure your itinerary based on trends. Or if you, let's say you were set to do, let's say you were going to do the Peter Pan in the afternoon, but you found it was early and you were going to do a walk and you went in on it. They know, and right away they'll adjust it so they don't, they say, all right, you don't need that anymore. Let's make your day more interesting. So it's a very hands-on, perpetually updated, using a lot of AI and machine learning to make it a really cool thing. So back to the toll booth, which is basically the $15 you're going to pay to Disney Genie Plus. Once you're done with that, once you pay for that, you have access all day to the reservation system where you can actually get these 1 hour windows. And as you could probably imagine, since the old Fast Pass Plus was open to everybody, most people are probably not going to spend $15 a day on top of their trip to Disney. So these lines, these Lightning Lane lines, are probably going to be shorter than the Fast Pass, the old Fast Pass lanes. And by definition, since they'll be shorter, it's also going to be good news for the standby line because they'll be able to move a lot quicker. It's not like the old days where they had to let so many Fast Pass people in per hour and a lot fewer in the standby. So the line should generally be flowing. It's still the same capacity, but there'll be more standby to Fast Pass / Lightning Lane Genie Plus customers going through. So that should please people that don't want to pay and excite people that do pay because they're getting shorter lines. So outside of that universe, there are 2 rides in each park that are called Lightning Lane Plus. That's what their lines are called. And it is, as you can imagine, 2 of the most popular rides in each park. So at Magic Kingdom, you have Seven Dwarfs and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train Ride and Space Mountain. At Animal Kingdom, it's Flight of Passage and Everest. Over at Epcot, it is the 2 newer rides, the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen Ever After. And what did I leave out? I think I left out, Disney's Hollywood Studios. So as you can imagine, Rise of the Resistance is going to be there, and also Mickey's Runaway Railway. So These are the 8 rides that are in that Lightning Lane Plus. You can imagine that as Disney adds rides, so as Guardians of the Galaxy opens in 2022 and Tron opens possibly in 2023 and other things happen, they will mix that up and maybe add more rides to it. But what's going to happen here is it'll give you an option, and even in the Disney Genie Plus, when it's giving you the rides, when you were picking out the 7, 8 rides, if you're doing Magic Kingdom and you had played for Genie Plus, and you would pick Space Mountain or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, if you picked one, it would tell you, all right, you can pay for this, and it won't count into one of the 1-hour windows. It'll tell you time. You have to pay a certain amount. And again, people are always wondering, what is it going to be? What's it going to be like? Because in Disneyland Paris, they rolled out pretty similar pay per ride to access these fast pass lines, and it was between $9 and $20. Well, at the Magic Kingdom and at Disney World, rather, it is between $7 and $15 the first time around. So Expedition Everest will be on October 19th will be $7. Rise of the Resistance will be $15, and it'll be that way for those 2 rides throughout the week. But of course, there will be some dynamic pricing based on day, not during the day, but your actual day. So let's say you're going to be on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It'll be $9 on October 19th when it opens, which is a weekday when the system opens. And that Saturday, the first Saturday, it'll be $11. So this is sort of a system sort of saying rides, it's going to have the bargain price rides, it's going to have the higher end price rides, but others are going to be pretty dynamically priced based on basically consumer demand. So, and again, you can only buy 2 Lightning Lane Plus rides a day. And you're thinking, well, I'm not made of money. I wouldn't be able to pay for all that. But you're going to realize, especially if it's, let's say, a 2-hour line for Rise of the Resistance, and you can basically buy your way onto it for $15. If you're buying a one-day ticket to a park, you're paying a lot more than $15 for 2 hours at the park. It's going to be a economical, smart decision for you to do. If you're an annual pass holder and you're paying $1, $2, maybe $3 a day over the course of a year to keep your pass going, you may think, nah, I'm going to pass. It's not really worth it for me, especially I can come back on another day when the standby line is non-existent, which may be the case at some point. So it's a system that is actually... when you try it, I tried it on hands-on, and it's really cool. All the little filter features, the fact that it can adapt to things, the fact that it's very customized to what you want, really makes it this kind of cool next-gen app that no other theme park is doing. And obviously, others will catch up eventually. But yes, I get it. People are upset that you have to pay for these rides, and that doesn't make people happy, especially when the old Fast Pass used to be free. But again, I assure you that Disney Genie, the platform, is an upgrade to my Disney experience, the app that we know now and knew before. There are a lot of cool things in there. The UI is very intuitive, just like the original app. Hopefully it won't be as buggy as the My Disney Experience app can be sometimes. And maybe it will be initially because it's launching. But there are a lot of cool bells and whistles in there. A lot of stuff that you don't expect and that I didn't even see coming out when the press release that's coming out. A lot of those things like those the virtuals that you can put filters on, the audio tails, these cool things that I got to test on, which I assume will launch on October 19th. But if they don't, that means that they're in the works and they'll be coming out soon. That really make it a feature that will make your day at the park, whether you are a regular or this is your once-in-a-lifetime trip to Walt Disney World, it'll make it a lot better. So you may not like the fact that you have to pay for some stuff, and you do have to pay for Genie Plus if you want access to these Lightning Lane lines, and if you want the Lightning Lane Plus access lines, you're going to have to pay even more. But I assure you, if that's the game you didn't want to play, the Lightning Lane Plus lines, because they are premium, are going to be, and even though these are basically the prime rides, they're not going to have as heavy capacity, these lines, as they would. So those standby lines at Rise of the Resistance or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure should run pretty regularly. And of course, they will all obey the virtual queue rules or whatever standby is at the moment. So there are a lot of things here to think about. And obviously, a lot of people made up their mind back in August or even earlier when they started doing this in Disneyland Paris, and we knew it was coming over, washing over across the Atlantic. But seeing the numbers, first of all, the math is kinder on what Lightning Lane Plus will cost per ride, and it makes sense for a lot of people, especially people that it's like kind of a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. But more importantly, Disney Genie itself, the app, the free app that will be available to everyone, it's an enhancement. It is a game changer. It does a lot of things that make sense, and it will make you stay at the park longer, which I think is part of the plan that Disney wants. It makes it just fleshes out this perfect day for you instead of, I just have these 3 1-hour windows I can plan for, and then I'm out of luck after that. It's going to work. I think you should give it a try. And if it doesn't work, Disney will come up with something else. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. And again, October 19th is when it comes out. And I'm not just reading the press release. I was there. I actually got to try the app basically, almost 2 weeks before it came out. Very cool. A lot of neat features. And it's only going to get better. It's going to be like a Netflix recommendation engine eventually, where you basically can just suggest things based on who you are, what you've done. It knows the rides you've been on. Again, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying logically it could evolve to that point where it's basically following your habits, knows the rides that you skip, knows the places you like to eat at, knows the characters you stop to greet at, and it can form an even better day. The better it knows you. Just like, the longer you're a Netflix subscriber, the better the recommendations are for you. So very interesting product putting out by Disney, and the free product is going to be perfectly acceptable for most people. But if you really respect your time and you're willing to pay for, be more efficient and get more rides in and attractions done during the course of the day, you now have Genie Plus. And you now have Lightning Lane Plus if you want to take it to the next level. That's it. Again, that's Disney Genie in a nutshell. 3 wishes.